Hi, I'm James and thanks for tuning in to eBuyer. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the NETGEAR AX12, a tri-band Wi-Fi 6 router capable of 10 gigabit per second Wi-Fi speeds with some awesome functionality. Let's unbox it and explore the key features. This AX12 router is a 12-stream tri-band router with plenty of processing power under the hood and some really incredible specification. With a quad-core 1.8 GHz processor, you've got plenty of processing power to manage the traffic on your network, something we'll talk more about a little bit later. One of the really cool things about this router though is its ability to deliver 10 gigabit speeds over Wi-Fi. That's right, over 1 gigabyte per second, 10 gigabits a second on Wi-Fi. The design of this physically as well is also really cool, but it's not a case of form over function, as these really nice wraparound antennas give a great job of maintaining strong signal strength around a large house. This router actually says at the rear that it's specifically designed for 5 and 6 bedroom homes, meaning in houses that size or smaller, you're going to get some awesome coverage. Let's go ahead though and unbox the router and see what this wraparound antenna design looks like in person, because it's something I've never actually seen before. Exciting stuff. Opening up the box then, and we're greeted with a really nice quick start guide which informs us to download the NETGEAR Nighthawk app, which I already have on One Step Ahead, and actually lets us know how we can go ahead and set up the router. Inside the box then you will actually find the router itself, and this thing already got really heavy. That is the heaviest Wi-Fi router I've ever seen in my whole life. Let's move the box out of the way, we'll come back to the accessories. I think there's more important things at play for the time being. Let's just open this up. Oh my goodness, this thing looks incredible. Whoa, oh, it folds out. Oh my goodness, this is, whoa. Look at that. I'm guessing that they kind of slot down, they do. Unreal. Look at that for design. There's also a little bit of a fan there. I don't know if you can quite see that. Between the two glossy black pieces here, there's actually a cooling fan. So if that didn't suggest how powerful this router was, then I don't know what will, frankly. That's pretty bonkers. Let's go ahead though and just remove all of this extra plastic protection and just see how shiny the router is before going ahead and setting it up, exploring its key features and testing what speeds we're able to achieve. This thing is absolutely... There's no words to describe how just bonkers this router is. Obviously the functionality on it is great and we're going to look at that in a moment, but I mean, it's just insane. You can actually lift these up and fold the router down if you wish as well, for portability if that's something you're worried about. And then just pop them back up and fasten them down to actually get that prime signal strength. As far as I/O is concerned, it really doesn't get a lot better than this. We've got dual USB 3 ports. This is for attaching, say, an external hard drive or SSD and getting network attached storage. We've then got our external internet ports. This is a standard Ethernet connection where you're going to plug in your external outside internet connection. We've then got 4 gigabit Ethernet ports, 2 of which can actually be aggregated for dual gigabit speeds combined together. And then as if that wasn't enough, there's a multi 2.5/1 gigabit port. So the latest motherboards out there, particularly on the latest desktops, have the ability to transfer 2.5 gigabit data, and that's where this port comes in. Especially when you combine the aggregated connections as well, you can actually transfer multiple gigabits per second across especially the wired, but also the wireless connections. With wireless speeds up to 10 gigabits per second as well, with these absolutely insane antennas that we've already covered off, this really is one of, if not the most high-end router I've ever seen or tested. The next really cool feature I want to demonstrate with this Nighthawk router is actually the software control interface that allows you to manage your network, monitor traffic, and put into place certain controls or extras. Now you can access this by going into a web browser and navigating to 192.168.1.1. 192.168 is your home network IP address essentially, and that's the same for pretty much everybody. And then 1.1 signifies a device number. With our router being the very first device on the network, it is of course number 1. Now once you've done this, you'll log in with the credentials you created during the setup process, and you get a wide range actually of functionality. In basic mode, you can see the status of the internet connection. For us, it is good, so that's a great start for this video. And then you can actually see the Wi-Fi password and the Wi-Fi network SSID or network name. You can then see how many devices are attached, and we can navigate into there and see the names of the devices as a OnePlus 7T Pro and then this laptop, as well as the individual IP and MAC addresses of each of the devices. You can also see what type of connection they're on, 2.4 or 5 gigahertz. Remember, 5 gigahertz is preferred if you want all that extra bandwidth and speed at a slightly closer range, but 2.4 gigahertz tends to, on the whole, be better over longer distances. You can also take a look in the basic menu at other functionality such as parental control. You can turn security settings on and off and even enable a guest network. Now this is going to be awesome if you've got a family gathering round, you've got a garden party, whatever it might be, and you don't want people either taking up all the bandwidth on your network, you don't want people to have that degree of access. You can enable a guest network by jumping into here, turning the guest network on, and then actually setting up an SSID and password. This allows you as well to not have to give out your private network password to visitors or guests, which once again could lead to vulnerabilities. The guest network can be configured quite nicely in our 192.168.1.1 control center, with lots of different options available in terms of security and bandwidth and all that good stuff. Now that's the basic mode, but there is also an advanced mode where we can jump in and just take a closer look at what's going on. From the MAC address of the actual internet router itself, to the firmware, the GUI that you're using, and then of course your 2.4 and 5 gigahertz network settings. You can jump as well into the Ready Share storage. Now this is the USB storage drive add-on that I talked about earlier. Take any USB hard drive or SSD that's compatible, plug it up to the back of the router, and suddenly you've got a shared storage location that you can access across the entirety of the network or to whichever devices you pick and choose. This is going to be awesome if you've got family photos or video content for the kids. Whatever it might be, you can access shared files in this location. You will need to be connected, of course, to your home network in order to gain access to these, but as far as a home media center is concerned or something along those lines, it's a really handy feature to have. Now that was Ready Share storage, but what about Ready Cloud? Now earlier I mentioned that you need to be connected up to the network to get access to this storage, but that's not strictly true once you enable Ready Cloud. With a username and password that you can create an account for, it allows you to port into the router from pretty much anywhere in the world to access the attached storage. That's a really kind of advanced feature, but really cool to have, especially on a higher end router like this. As if that wasn't enough, you've also got a litany of security options available, allowing you to block certain sites, set schedules for when internet access will be enabled or disabled. You can block certain services or web addresses, and you can also go through and configure email directly on the router itself to gain email address alerts for certain activity on the network. One of the common themes with the Nighthawk range is just the amount of data available to you. While you're not often going to look through the exact log of your router, it's certainly helpful to have and can help you to diagnose issues that you might have with your internet service provider to get online that little bit quicker. It's all about having the flexibility of having this data ready and available, and features like network attached storage that you can access from anywhere with the Ready Cloud functionality are some really huge selling points. And that's without mentioning the awesome range from these really unique antennas which are designed for 5 and 6 bedroom homes, making sure you're covered with strong signal strength every step of the way. Here at eBuy, we like to test things ourselves and we like to test them properly. So we've connected a Zoom call up. The router is in this big building behind me, and yet still we are getting signal, we're still getting range. It's absolutely insane, really, how far we've actually managed to get on this NETGEAR router. I am very, very impressed. And on that note, that pretty much wraps it up for our unboxing, overview and first look at the NETGEAR AX12. If you'd like to learn more or pick one up for yourself, there will be links in the description of this YouTube video. Thank you for watching though, and as always, we'll see you soon.